a couple people asked me what were some of the trials and tribulations and some of the struggles in starting my lawn care business. Well, there's a lot of struggles, but at the time, I didn't realize they were struggles. I just thought that was just, that these things happen. And, the number one struggle, though, I gotta say, is commitment. Committing to the business, committing to and seeing it through. That was the biggest thing in the very beginning. Of course, I don't come from a background of lawn care, so I didn't know anything about lawn care other than the grass is green and it grows during the summer. That's all I really knew, And I started out with, I had little push mowers. I had a little old lady that, I had a little old lady that let me cut her grass. She'd give me, $30 or so, and she let me use her mower to do that. And then once I started doing her property, and I had a full-time job doing her property, once I started doing it regular, I started saying, well, man, I could do it a lot faster if I had a riding mower. So then this is before, this was back in 2005 and stuff, man, but I had a full-time job, so I wasn't really willing to commit to lawn care full-time. I didn't know how. I didn't think I could. It never even occurred to me. It was just something to do to make extra money, and that's the way I looked at it, So I continued to do lawns. I moved from that area with a little old lady, and I moved out here to where I live at now. And I was working a job, and I bought a house in 2007 or so. I was working just a regular office job. Believe it or not, y'all, I was a drafter, CAD drafter designer for an engineering firm over here in one of the cities close to me. And the market was booming. Business was good, and but that job taught me a lot about discipline and about being at work on time and all that, But then after I moved, I started doing a few lawns here and a few lawns there. I bought a 25-inch snapper, rear engine mower from a friend of ours for $500 or whatever. And I got a few lawns in the neighborhood, and I was going up to some of the signs and all where they're selling houses and stuff, and and I was getting jobs like that. But I didn't have equipment or anything, and I still had a full-time job. But after the market crashed in 2008, I got laid off. That's when I started the business as you see it now. Went down and got a business license and just started doing what doing what I do. A lot of my family members and stuff were telling me, hey, go get a job. You need to get a job, man. And well, there wasn't no jobs out there in my field, and I had just bought a house and everything. And when my employer laid me off, they laid me off and they gave me $3,000, and they said, hey, we're sorry, but we're going to close down. What can I say? So they let me collect unemployment, and you were getting unemployment back then for years, for like 18 months or so. And I was already dabbling in the lawn game. I didn't have any big equipment, and so what I did is right before I got laid off, and I didn't know I was going to get laid off, but before everything started getting bad in 2008, I had went to Home Depot and filled out a credit card form, and they gave me a $500 credit line. I thought I was hot shit, y'all. I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get me a get me a lawnmower, a good riding lawnmower. Didn't know nothing about lawnmowers, y'all. Nothing. So I go to Home Depot. I spend $1,000. 500. I spent $1,000. 500. I maxed the credit line out, and then I put 500 with it to get a mower. This business right here is it takes a lot to get, you know, up to this point as far as equipment and all. So, you know, the next few years after I lost my job, the next few years I was just where I had just a handful of customers, and I was working the jobs, but I was collecting unemployment. And the way, when I look back on that, I look back on it like this, you know, I seized the moment. Some people get unemployment and then they don't do shit the whole time they got unemployment. Well, they ain't got to, you know. They're thinking, yeah. So, I lost the train of thought for a minute. So, some of the struggles I had were financial struggles, you know. That was the biggest struggles that I had, you know, was financially, I don't know. The biggest struggles I had was I didn't know anything about nothing. I didn't know anything about, knowledge is everything, man, now that I look back. I didn't know anything about trailers and about, you know, what size trailer I needed for this and what a trailer, you know, how to change the axles, how to change out the hubs. I didn't know how to do anything. And this business, I got a crash course in all of those things, y'all. All of those things. So, you know, when I think about the struggles, though at the time, y'all, I didn't think it were struggles. I didn't, you know, now that I look back and I'm like, man, dude, you didn't know nothing, man. You were backwards as all get out, man. Now that I think back on it, and that's the way I should be thinking now, 13 years in, and been doing this for that long, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, there was a lot of things that I went through. And another big thing that I went through on some of the struggles is the stress. Did I do the right thing? So you got to ask yourself that. Am I doing the right thing? Do I need to get out and find a job? So I ain't getting no younger. I was 35 when I started. Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? Did I do the right thing? And you know, I didn't wake up one day and say, well, I think I'm gonna start a lawn care business. It was a gradual thing. And the thing that pushed me over to make me make the decision was me getting laid off my job. I didn't have no choice then, because my bills were due. I had bills due. And when they gave me that $3,000 and they said, you know, see ya, pretty much, and it wasn't their fault. They were a great company. They went belly up too. And they gave me everything that they could, me going out the door. And they felt really bad because they knew I had just bought a house, and you know, I hadn't even been in my house a year, you know. So yeah, I bought my house based on the income that I made from that job. When I applied for the mortgage loan, that's what they based it on. So at the end of the day, you know, I wasn't making that kind of money anymore. The unemployment was barely, I mean, barely enough to pay the bills, man. I mean, there was nothing left, you know, nothing left. Of course, I didn't have the bills that I have now, you know. As my business has scaled up, so has my equipment and my income and my expenses, you know. I struggle with trucks, you know. Getting my first F-250, and I still got it, you know. I had to learn how to fix trailers. Been many a time I broke down on the side of the road because trailer something was wrong. One time I looked up beside me, and one of my trailer tires is rolling beside me. Yeah, because the lugs had come loose and it kept jarring like that, and finally it broke the lugs and the whole wheel came off. You know, with my mowers and stuff, you know, with my mower, my one little mower on the trailer. But y'all, everybody's struggle is not like my struggle. Your struggle is going to be a little bit different. You know, I was real jittery about everything. I was real scared. I was worried all the time. And I mean, dude, it really took its toll on me, man. So I could not make good decisions because I didn't know anything. So every decision that I made, I started questioning those decisions, as those decisions would turn into a pile of doo-doo, you know. And I'd have to reel back, and I had to say, okay, you know, there were so many things I did wrong that I had to turn around and do right, and then I had to, and then it'd be another branch of that, and then it'd be wrong, and then it'd be right, you know. I mean, it just, me not knowing was everything, y'all. Me not understanding was everything. I can't emphasize that enough. Me keeping my eye on the ball, and then I got family members telling me, man, you need to go get a job, dude. Yeah, you need to go get a job because your unemployment's gonna run out and you're not gonna have a job. And you know, after about a year of hearing all that, I realized, you know, I thought for a brief moment that maybe I do need to go get a job, especially in the very beginning, because I had never worked for myself. I had never, you know, but I knew that I was not confident in corporate America no more. I knew that. I knew that I could work 20 years at a job and they could lay me off with nothing, you know. So the struggles are real, you know. The trials and tribulations are real, you know, in the beginning. But if you're hard-headed and you can't learn from your mistakes, well, you will learn from your mistakes, or you won't be successful in this line of work. You know, you'll never get up to a level of security until you, well, number one, fully commit. Gotta fully commit. You know, you can't have folks on the sideline, you know, telling you to do this and that, and then you following, you doing what they're telling you to do. You know, you got to make your own path, man, and you got to be, you got to have the wherewithal to, when mistakes come up and when things just feel like they're going to get overwhelming, and they do get overwhelming, that you persevere and you just keep going forward, man, that way, not that way. And you got to be living that. You got to breathe it. You got to, I mean, I can't tell you the passion that you must have in order to be successful in this business. For that matter, in any business, if you're going to be your baby. And that's the way I look at my business. This business is my baby. And I've watched it grow from nothing to what it is today. And I'm not where I want to be. But I am much better than what I was. And every year I get better and better. I would have never known, you know, in year 2, what kind of mower that I need to buy for my particular client and for my particular properties. I know now, Yeah. And if I were to start this business now, knowing what I know now, then I would avoid a lot of the pitfalls. But when you think about it like that, you have to realize, you have to understand that ain't nothing worth having if you don't go through some shit to get it. It ain't easy, and it's a struggle. My wife and I struggle, you know, struggle with the. Well, I struggle with the concept of working for myself. I struggle with the concept of, hey, you know, if I don't get a job, I'm not going to have no retirement. I struggle with the concept that if I don't get a job, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. What if I get hurt? What about this? And what if I can't keep a truck? You know, and all those things were going on in my young brain. And I wasn't a young man, but I was 35 in my young business brain. And without ever even considering, I will not let it fail. I never even, though that's how I was, I didn't realize that's how I was. I refused to let my business fail. If it were a matter of tenacity, go get them, and all of that, then that was not the problem. The problem was me committing in my brain that, okay, and start standing back just a little bit and looking at the bigger picture. Because once you realize, okay, Ray, this is what you're going to be doing for the next 20 years, 30 years, okay? And then once you realize that, and once you believe that, now, of course, you may not be able to do it for that long. So something might happen. You might get hurt. But you could get hurt driving to a 9-to-5 not making shit. So at least if I get hurt, I'm going to be getting hurt with some money in the damn bank. Just saying, y'all. And it's, I'm very passionate about the business. Though I get burnt out just like everybody else. But I wouldn't have it any other way. You know. But you can't give up. And you got to get off the fence. So if you're at your 9-to-5 and you're looking at my videos and I'm empowering you to really think about, you know, doing lawn care full time, or if you're doing it part time and you really hate your job but you really like the lawn care, and you look at my videos, you look at some of the other YouTubers and they're you know, in control of their life. There's nothing, y'all, and I'm saying this to all you guys that are 30 years old to 50 years old. There is nothing more important than being in control of your destiny, yourself, personally. Nothing more empowering than that. Because if I'm in control of my own destiny, then it's a given I'm going to make good money, because I'm not going to stop until I do. Because if I don't, nobody will. You got to be looking at things from a whole nother perspective when you are self-employed and you're trying to do long term. So the struggles are real. So I never thought that I could make it, man. You know, but I just kept doing, and this is important, y'all. I just kept doing the next logical thing that I needed to do to grow the business. Go, and I was a lot. If y'all want to think about see how I was when I started this business, look at Jesse Blackford. That's exactly how I was. That is me made over again right there. The way he thinks, what he does, the good and the bad, and the trials and tribulations that he faces in his head as far as decision making and what jobs to take and what jobs not to take, blah blah. I was just like that. Just like that. I was a little bit older than him, but I was just like that mindset. I would have taken on any job, anytime, anywhere, it didn't matter. But committing to your craft is important. And people can make light of it and all of that. And they can say, well, you're just cutting grass. Well, when you do this for a living and it is your sole income, you got to be smart about how you do it. You know, you don't want to jump too fast and you don't want to jump too slow. You know. And then on top of all of that I was just telling you guys about, in the beginning I didn't have no credit either. I couldn't go get credit. I couldn't go sign my name and get a lawnmower. Hell, I couldn't even sign my name and get a freaking cell phone. Yeah. And y'all know I just got a Skag mower signed my name. And that's because over the years I have built my credit up because I couldn't get no credit. You know. And I paid my bills, and the way you spend your money that you make defines how your business is going to grow. Because if you go out and you don't do like I did just now, I'm 13 years in. I can do that now, but in the beginning, there's no way that I could go out and buy a $14,000 lawnmower on credit and cash, however you want to look at it. There's no way. Because I didn't have enough money for it, I didn't have enough business for it, and I didn't have the confidence it takes to do that. You know, and I couldn't get credit. So that was going to cost me $14,000 in cash right then. And you know, that's very scary for a guy that's got a mortgage due and don't have a job. And that was me. But as you grow in your business, y'all, you'll get confident. Y'all might look at me and say, damn, he doesn't look like he ever struggled for nothing. It was all a struggle. It was all a struggle to get here, and I'm not where I want to be. My business is not in the best scenario right now. I can do better. And whenever you think you can't do better, that's when you might as well go on and start punching a clock again. Because if that's how you're thinking, then you don't need to be out here doing this. I can always do better. I can always be more efficient. I can always make more money. I can always do better at this, and that. I can always do better with employees. I can always do better with mowers. I can always do better on the bidding. It never ends. I call it hunger. I call it tenacity to get to be the very best that I can be in this line of work, in my field. Not the best there is, but the best that I can be. And it's a conscious decision every day to live my life like that. And I know I sound like somebody that's damn, high almighty, but I'm just like you, man. Just like you. I've just lived through the trials and tribulations of growing my business to this point, the headaches and the windfalls, and all the things in between. And it makes you, it defines you, it molds you into the business person that you need to be in, because at the end of the day, you're surviving. It's mere survival. And you want to think, you want to plot, you want to make sure that you're not going that way when you need to be going that way, and when you're not going that way when you need to be going that way. You need to make sure of all of those things. And if you can't sit back and figure all that out as you go and learn from all your mistakes as you go, then you may not ever be able to get to a point of where you don't really worry about paying your bills. I don't worry about paying my bills anymore. It's a freaking given, man. Really? Yeah. And people can look at me and say, hey, he's just a cocky dude. Call it what you want to. I had to go through a lot to get my mind like this, to get my brain set like this. Ain't none of this stuff easy, man. And people that minimize it and talk about, well, it's just cutting grass, well, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. You can't make a living cutting grass. Like hell, you can make a damn good living cutting grass. I don't hurt for nothing. And people that say that you can't make a living in this game, or that you can't make good money in this game, well, to me, it's one of the most is about as foolproof as you're going to get to me. Because when I started my business, y'all, right after the market crashed in 2008. I mean, I literally lost my job and everything. The economy was as bad as it could be, and this business is as recession proof as you can get. Now, ain't no business fully recession proof, but this one is as good as any. But this is the most recession proof game it's as recession proof as anything. I've never felt one lump along the 13 years of my business. And this is a fact, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all a quick fact. Every year since year 2, my business has grown a third. Just saying. Has grown a third. Maybe not in the customer base, maybe not in the amount of customers that I have, but in the money part, the financials have grown a third every year. These are facts. That don't happen by accident. That happens because I am proactive in growing my business, but not growing it to the point where I'm zigzagging every which way, costing me a little bit more than what I think I should pay in order to make this money. If you make $600 a day, $800 a day, and it costs you $500, you got to be thinking like that. You know, in the beginning, if I could do $400 a day, then that was great. I mean, that was great, man. You know, it was, because I didn't have expenses like I got now. As your business grows, you're going to take on more things. There's more things to pay for along the way. So these are just some of the things that you got to be thinking about when you're getting ready to jump off that freaking fence. And of course, if you got children and all that are not grown and all of that, well, that's another ball game. You have to do what's best for your family. You know, you got to keep insurance and all of that. Anyway, I appreciate you guys for listening to my rant. I appreciate all the subscribers. I appreciate all the comments and everybody, you know, liking my videos, doing the best I can, you know, based on my knowledge of videos, just like it was when I started my lawn care business. I'm doing the best I can based on what I know. My videos will get better and better as I do more and more, because I'm learning every day on how to, I don't know, talk to the camera in the minimal words possible. Because I want to explain things, and sometimes that comes off the camera as just long-winded, you know. Anyway, I just pulled up and go here and eat me a Sammy, and it's Ray. Peace out, y'all.